Alrighty. What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. What it do? Feeding your chickens? My chickens. Discord and YouTube. All right. Give everybody a few minutes here to pop on. We are live on YouTube, so no saying weird shit. This guy right here. All right. Cool. What's up? Good afternoon. Why? Why are you guys testing me right now? Just try. I got a warning on YouTube about language, so trying to not get banned there as well. What's up? The mic volume is that better? Mic check. All right, cool. All right. Yeah, you guys can. All right, so good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Yeah, no problem. We are doing a couple things this afternoon. Obviously, we're going to look at our major ETFs again. We're also going to look at the economic data going into next week, kind of correlating that with the chart. We also have, exterior news. Trump's going absolutely bananas with executive orders that could definitely affect a few sectors in the market. Not that it doesn't look like the chart kind of speaks to that potentially, and then we're going to look at earnings. And anybody who is in the Discord, I encourage you guys to start searching as well. Look through those charts. If you see empty space, throw them out there. Throw your chart on. If anybody wants to drop that, no, I'm not sharing the Discord chat, Astro. Yeah, it's all good. I'm not super concerned about it, but I'm try not to be off topic or stray from the topic for people watching this back later on. So, all right, if anybody wants to drop the earnings calendar, that would be swell. Otherwise, I'll grab it in a second. First things first. We closed Friday doing the same thing. We're going to take a look at this week's economic calendar. Last week of January. It's a pretty important week. There's definitely potential for a lot of money to be made. I'm not mad at the data that's coming in, especially towards the end of the week. But Monday we start off pretty cool. Could see some sideways action. Tuesday, same thing. At 10 a.m. though, we do have CB consumer confidence, which is relayed as high impact data. So we'll see if that does anything. But really, it's and typically it's two different scenarios. A, you move into the meeting, or B, you move on the meeting. And so we've got a federal fund rate, FOMC statement, FOMC press conference, and then Thursday, advanced GDP and unemployment claims coming in. Friday, core PCE price index and unemployment or employment cost index quarter over quarter. So definitely a lot of data this week. A lot of potential swings. A lot of this stuff is coming in at 8:30 in the morning. So Thursday, Friday, those cheap Thursday contracts. That's probably going to be my favorite day. Last thing I will say about the data this week, because I know that there is money to be made here, I am, and the motto this week is patience, right? Patience. We're waiting. I'm waiting. So if Monday shows up and nothing looks good and we have to force speculate, nope. See you later. I'm out. And I'm not going to spend time, and I hope you don't either if it doesn't look good. You know, a lot of people in the Discord have different trading styles, especially for those of you who are new. So people are going to be trading during the day, and that's their prerogative. But for the majority, I would say 95% of you should be getting off at 10:30, 11 o'clock and waiting for the end of the day, and in order to circumvent those losses that you're accruing during the day, trying to chase tiny little candles. So anyway, now this week, big earnings week, as well as big data week. SoFi, we have earnings Monday morning. Nucor after hours. We've got a Boeing, GM, Lockheed Martin, RCL, Starbucks, Lending Club, Logitech. We got ASML, Progressive, T-Mobile, ADP, Tesla, Meta, Microsoft on Wednesday. Big cluster. This is worth the whole fucking Canadian GDP right here. IBM, this is another one that we looked at. ServiceNow, I know those guys. Then on Thursday, we've got UPS, MasterCard, Dow, and we've looked at a couple of this, Nokia, Caterpillar, Comcast. They should be going up. And then finally, and we do have oil earnings on Friday morning, as well as Colgate. Seeing the other recognized Charter Communications, but Apple, Intel, Visa, right, all coming in on Friday. So we have a really big week. Is Meta going to announce their purchase of TikTok this week? It wouldn't surprise me, but I don't think they can. I think I'm not really sure the legality there. It's not where my concern is. But I do think there's going to be some sense. Maybe they can. We'll see. But yeah, earnings would probably be a date in which they would say that. Wow, that's delicious. All right. So going into this week, and we did cover this on Friday, I encourage you to watch that, right? We tapped the highs on Qs on the weekly time frame, tapped that red candle open, and then on a lower time frame, and we traded this to the upside. Not a bad trade. There is, and again, I'd be a fool if I didn't show you this. That there is certain elements to the chart that speak to a potential downside move. For me, after looking at the chart, I think that happens under 526.85. You've got a box here that you're building. You're bouncing off the floor 3 times, and Trump's fucking doing tariffs and all this other stuff. So there is empty space on the 24-hour underneath us all the way to 519. So if we do end up breaking down, right, we got FOMC this week, we could see a big move, right? So SPY, same thing. This one did successfully punch back. I know a lot of you guys were able to catch that one. Good trade. But now the question is, do we continue higher? Now, typically under the cost basis, yeah, I start to be concerned about a potential leg down, right? However, we have not lost enough to go ahead and call that yet. So there is lower time frame, 2-hour, 4-hour cost basis and floors. There's a 604.72 target on the 4-hour, and underneath that there's nothing, and we could see a breakdown. There's a top here, and then the target ultimately would be around 599. So definitely a curious week I think we have in front of us, especially with the empty space down and then the all-time highs up, right? So yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you're on YouTube, I appreciate it. Share this video with a friend. Alrighty, last but not least, IWM, another really curious setup here, sitting up against the wall, sitting above its structure, sitting up against the floor, using the floor as cost basis, actually. So this is one of those setups where, yeah, we could see this rejection and see a breakdown at underneath 225.35. I'm thinking IWM is going to be seeing some downside, but it's fighting to stay even above this level right here, and that's even where we could start to see things collapse. So what's up, dude? All right, now we're gonna break into earnings here, and we already did. I believe we did Tuesday morning, and so we're gonna really quickly. And again, if you guys are in the Discord, are welcome to start scanning yourself a good charting exercise. I'm gonna move through some of the top names here, and we're gonna see if we can't find ourselves a play this week or a setup. I'm just gonna brush over Starbucks. I don't think I like that one. Yeah, I think 107 was the target on that. If the contracts were cheap enough, maybe, but then you also have a pullback to 94.50 underneath you. So, not my favorite in the whole world, but it does have, especially with all the negative press, if it does end up doing numbers, easily see 107. So, not a terrible setup, not a clear one, but not a terrible setup. SAP. We're going to ignore that. Yeah, I have time for questions. Yeah, hit me. Yeah. Hmm. It's not the craziest setup in the world, but I could see a $21 run on that one. Nice scoop. Big old scoop. Yeah, up to like 22 maybe. Yeah, not my favorite. Logitech. Stream is full. All right, give me a second. Okay. Logitech has a straightforward upside target to 103 on a potential punch over. I would take a look at this. You just kind of floated through it. So 95 and 102. Well, maybe just the bodies, but 101, 102 area would be a decent target on that. Actually, it's not the worst setup. Good bounce off the floor here. Good curl up, mid punch back. So, weekly punch back too as well. Does not have a lot of volume. And that's probably something that will affect the contracts. So, got to be careful on that one. I'm writing this shit down. So, I thought I was. All right. If you guys want to look at some of the smaller ones, it'd be my guess. I typically stray away from those, but might be a good setup in there. Not my favorite. ASML. Hmm. Yeah, also not my favorite. Lacking volume. Progressive lowered my car insurance rates because we moved out to the burbs. Not really the burbs, but kind of the burbs. Yeah, not big fan of that one either. It does have a box, but no empty space. I'd rather be disappointed than lose money. I'll write that down. I'm not a big fan of telecommunications, as you guys probably have heard, but I'll write that one down. It does have a engulfing candle on the 24. It's moving towards cost basis. Got empty space up above to 220 or basically 230. Um, I don't hate it. It does react on earnings decently. Um, so I mean, yeah, one's not terrible. Oh, all right. ADP doesn't respond to earnings very well. Skip that one. You could go up. That'd be nice. Wouldn't be surprised if you have some. Yeah, but again, it's not Schwab. All right, let's get some big ones here. Tesla. Now, I think TSLL is the move, right? So correlate that with this chart. Whether it's public support, again, we'll see. Elon's gone full fucking dictator here, so and that's not even political. He's just losing his fucking mind. Um, but when I look at this chart, I see a target to the downside of 358. Very simple, right? I see the beginnings of a potential channel, right? Where this could go and reach that 345 on a big dump, right? However, because this is the only thing standing between you and it could be that we see 320. Now, to the upside, because we have not broken cost basis, right? And again, going into earnings, you could flip it and reverse it. But a potential bounce lies here, right? Where the previous resistance of 425 would be ahead of you. And then when you look, we're obviously in all-time highs, right? So, and you can kind of see when you look over to your left exactly what we're trying to hang on to. So with that, if you want to go, and again, you'd have to correlate this to TSLL, right? And that one would be like in the 40s, 45 area. Downside would be basically, it's kind of odd because the chart's not identical. You have bounce off of 2375. So, your potential punch down, I mean, I don't want to go too crazy, but 14 or even just 1730 would be a target there. I'm going to write that down for TSLL because I know damn sure that Tesla is going to be astronomical. All right. A punchback day is where a candle closes above, breaks through the 50% mark of a box that it's recently fallen out of. Well, doesn't have to be recently. And that can happen up or down. So, yeah, I think 17 and 18 would be a TSLL target. So, all right, let's take a look at Meta. Everybody, now the torturous thing is that to the downside, I think anything that you do on Meta is no matter what a gamble. Is there a clear sign? No. Did it leave the top of the box for the third time? Yes. Right? So if something is mentioned about TikTok, see ya. Right? But is it worth the gamble? And you have to ask yourself that. Have some self restraint if you know that it's not. It's probably not something that I will take part in. As much as I would like to, it does not present empty space. There's punchbacks to the downside. If those get rolling, I could give you a 530 target. So, but you place your bets there. I mean, you'd have to have some serious crazy data come in. Now, I never trade Microsoft for earnings. We'll take a look at it. And it's not to say that it doesn't respond to earnings, but it's typically not enough for these contracts to do something worthwhile. Yeah, I don't see a setup anyway, but maybe a downside move, but I don't like that. 330. Never. I do not trade Microsoft. Both Apple and Microsoft are just so heavily weighted. Now, I am going to write this down. And I went over this in my previous live. The things that I do like about it is that it is in a tight area of consolidation and it moves well on earnings, right? Especially in the days following. Um, Now, what I don't like about it is that it's stuck in between two signals, which means that, maybe 210, and then we need a punchback over 230 to try and go basically shoot up and out. So, do I think it moves? Yes. Those targets, right, are going to have to probably be in these structured areas like 236, 235, and then 215 or even 210s would be acceptable. So I could see Meta pulling back, but I don't know. Maybe they just don't live up to the valuation. But all right, LRCX. Nope. Well, that sucks. But that's just the way it goes. You're sitting at cost basis on service now. It's waiting for earnings. Empty space down. I could see this one rocketing, but again, the question is, yeah, it doesn't seem to do super well on earnings. It likes to move after the fact, and then with these contracts this highly priced, you can expect to have some pretty high priced contracts. So, oh Lord have mercy, UPS. Not the worst setup, but what's above it is just not my favorite. Look at Marzell playing Marvel Rivals instead of sitting in here. That's crazy, dude. Yeah, I mean, you need something big to set this off. I don't doubt that it can, but I would only put a 145 target on it up, and then down. You're bouncing right off of the top over here, so I'd have to aim down towards like 107. But again, not a good setup here. So BMA. I mean, new highs. I would imagine whether or not the contract. I mean, I'm tempted to write it down because it looks like it's going to go shooting to new highs. But earnings decent, decent, but not earth shattering. Yeah. All right. Might go ahead and stop there, and we'll do more tomorrow. We'll finish up the rest of the week. I'm not really seeing anything. That one looks like it wants the gap, but that's at 30. Yeah, that's not enough for me. All right. So not the craziest, but we still have good data this week, right? So going through our setups, earnings, there's still other things I didn't go over. So if you've gone over them, I will have you guys drop that not in the live trading chat, but here. I see a couple of you already typed in the chat. So the Discord chat bubble. All right, so Mobileye was the first one. Weekly, looks like you're pinched in between two boxes. You got empty space up above you, so you're refusing the floor as we speak, right? So if there's, it says earnings soon, I could see a target of 1325 below you and of 1965 above you. Those would be my two targets. And then is this a, yeah, arm. So the other day we talked about arm ripping. It did. Weekly candle closed well. It went up into its structure, got tapped out at cost basis, ripped too fast, didn't grab the floor, and has since pulled back to the first place that it broke out of, and then threatening to go and retest 153. Um, so as of right now, right, this is the a necessary level to bounce at. Now you look like you're not doing a great job of that, and overnight price action could easily drive you back down into this top at 154 and even 151. So, um, things I do like though is that it fell very quickly. So if by some chance you can bounce around where you're at, or maybe you don't gap down, I would utilize this box in 166.30. What was that? 166.30. WDC. Yeah, so I do see they have earnings coming soon. Not a huge fan. I mean, it has a little bit of empty space and a retest at 65. It looks like it's reached up into the empty space above it, tapped your floor, been unable to close above it at 69. So, when I see it, I think, yeah, it's probably a downside retest here coming. Whether or not it responds, decent response. That's better. Not good. Not good. Yeah, so not my favorite. But and the risk reward is a little bit off. So, uh, what are the chances of me bringing back the monthly subscription? Very low. I feel confident that through if you set your alerts to when my lives are. I mean, if you took fuck, what did we trade last week? On why I keep thinking wood. Um, toast. Yeah, what the fuck did I get wood from? Look at me break. I made it worse, and then you put the icing on the cake. Thank you. I was just telling myself not to curse. Um, yeah, yeah. Butter my wood. All right, my wood's toasted. Oh, see, that just sounds bad. All right. Anyway, weekly time frame. Kind of hard to kind of hard to say that otherwise. But what's above it is troubling, right? So you have an immediate structure, and then it's also we got to look at how earnings has responded. Not great. 7 to 6. No, no. It happens afterwards, so it might be position. Excuse me, a position that's taken after earnings. Um, and out of the current 24-hour range. All right. Yeah, not my favorite straddle setup OC. If I know I'm being a picky little shit right now, but like that's how I pick the good ones, and there's a little channel here too, but maybe yeah, I have to be. That's how we stay profitable. 85 to the upside, but anyway, Nvidia. Now they have earnings the following week, right? And one thing, just if I haven't told you before, this is where the strategy was founded, right? Like Nvidia way back. I mean, way back. This is where I finally was like, all right, I got to give this thing a name because it's happening too much. But like the whole, and we can go back on 24-hour. There, when this thing does its one, two, threes, right? It does what it's supposed to do for the most part, right? And that's something that was like, okay, nailed home for me, while observing this. I think on lower time frame, and then you have the top, it gets popped off, and then punches. What the fuck? Punches back down. Um, but anyway, that being said, right? Just knowing that it does typically do that before it makes a move. When you look at the weekly time frame, wherever the fuck it's at, where the heck it's at, right? We have one, two, three, right? So the 24-hour has you basically fluttering in between the two, right? It's not really, but what it does have is tension, right? Earnings typically doesn't always disappoint, but earnings, if you look, when it moves, empty space, right? It has something to move through. So with that being said, right, where's the empty space? I think with this being up at the highs, 1, 2, and then kind of a lackluster 3. On the 24-hour, it's not 3. You hit the weekly top, but if it can stay in this box going into earnings, I think it moves, right? But with it being inside of this area, I wouldn't I wouldn't want to touch it until something a little bit more significant happens. And I would definitely straddle something like that. So, all right, cold. Oh, I'm sorry. You dead ass. You caught me in an ADH moment, Cam and Kel. To finish answering your question after, I don't know how I did that, but um, I think that if you stay tuned to the TikTok, the YouTube, and you're in the free Discord and you're waiting for alerts for when I go live, and you're going through my YouTube videos, I think you could make enough to afford some. That's my goal. I've seen it done. I know many people in here who are listening to me now that have paid for their lifetime for subscription or yearly subscription. And that to me is also like, people who want signals typically buy the lesser. They don't buy the lifetime or something, anything like that. And then they come in and they want signals, and then there is no signals, and then they want a refund. And I'm like, it says on the fucking front page of the website. I can't make it any more clear. So, but yeah, I don't think I want to do it again. But I might do like trials or something, one day. Try to keep you from having to spend unnecessary cash too. Save that cash. Make sure you're tuning into the lives. I'm not sure what exact. I mean, you see, cold. Did you give me any? I'm not sure which direction you're trying to take this into. I think because it's making a boxer on cost basis, it has both elements right to it. And I mean, if you look even at the finite details within this, and you drop a line at the box over here, that's where we're sitting on, right? So I couldn't have a bias in this area until that is broken to the upside, which is 35 even, right? Or you fill your gap down here and break down at 28. but I could see a bounce happening there. EXPE. That looks good. I think you're having you're just taking your time moving down there. But I mean, the way that you dumped all the way to the open, bounced, try just pull yourself back up on the floor. That candle was refused, so it's going to be the lower time frame, right? And now you can see the details on the 2 hour box. So you might end up boxing it out one more time for that 1, 2, 3, or even going and just simply tapping right around there. But new. New. I mean, if it goes up 100%, or that has plenty of empty space. Let's see. It does do it. Yeah. Hmm. The setup right now doesn't. I mean, it I don't. When is earnings? Earnings is okay. Um. Oh yeah, that's right. New cores after the bell. It's hard. I have to place a target at 130 above us, right, and then down below at 117.30. Um, it's not a beautiful like build right now. Um, hopefully, and I mean the channel speaks. Yeah, honestly, it's hard for me to say down. I'd say right now, looking at this thing, sitting on the floor, if you could just get over 126, you could fill that up, and I think that's, you know, yeah, I think that's in the realm of possibilities here. But first things first, 130. All right. Marvel. Ugh. So this is at all-time highs, right? So the only thing I can really do is that. Is that worth speculating on going into earnings? I think so. Um, I like that it's up at the top, even though it's building a little bit of a box. I think it's just enough for you to call it a breakdown. So underneath 113.30, I could see a punch down and a revisit of 95. I'm gonna write that one down. I like that. I'll just use fibs to find a target to the upside. I don't know why I feel so fucking exhausted right now. Or not, I'm not even tired, dude. My eyes are just heavy. It's weird. I haven't been sipping nothing. Yeah. This week is going to be fire. I can feel it. Or I'm going to be on fire. I don't know. I think this one comes down. Part of me thinks 1550 to revisit the floor, breakout floor here. Um, at the worst 13, which is the open, which is definitely possible in the days following or the day following. All right. Otherwise, you're building up at the highs, so you'd have to go to the weekly here. And yeah, I placed a target at 20. Oops. Also ran a lot of errands today, so um built a box around cost basis, sitting up against the previous wall. I could comfortably place a target, and this isn't necessarily earnings, but outside of that wall, if possible, because you do have a little channel here. Ooh, like that. So if you can pop out, I'd say 288. Otherwise, cost basis. I could see you down at the lows. I mean, again, doesn't seem like buyers are super excited, so they need to have a really solid earnings. But yeah, longer expiration would be toast. I said this, and it's got earnings close enough where you could speculate on this. I see it down to 31, and maybe even a bit further, but you got empty space underneath you. We toasted it right with the empty space trade to the upside, 40 50s. And then I traded this down. I know a lot of you guys caught that one as well. Um, and so punch downs 37.35. If you build sideways here, that opens up the possibility of moving up. Um, but yeah, it's this one I'm being patient on. So, all right, team straddle going into earnings. Oh, yeah, what's up, bro? Sure. A straddle is where going into a volatile event, typically, we're going to grab contracts that are low risk on both sides of the trade. It's okay to have a bias on a straddle, leaning more towards one side, whether it's compounding cheaper contracts or, um, finding something based on the worst case scenario and buying the other side of that. Um, but we are finding targets based on the chart on both the up and the downside, in order to basically all we need for that stock to do is move. And if it moves, typically the other side of the trade is null and void. We don't really worry about it. So, yeah, you're welcome. All right. So, team has a rejection off of the 282s, curling back up. On the 24-hour, it has a box separating you, and you can see it's refusing that after a punchback, which has pinned it in between two boxes. This could be useful going into earnings where I could give you a target of 301 or 300 to the upside. Um, and then to the downside, I could give you a target most likely around 223. And that would be my straddle team targets, my team straddle targets. Airbnb. Wow. Oh, oh boy. Oh God. No shit. Um, fuck. I see you. There you are. Hmm. The only thing I see here is this tight ass channel and this floor, which is 124. But I would want it down to 118, and that's the only thing that could make it worth it is, a $9 move to the downside. And I mean, it looks that way when you look at the weekly. It looks like it wants to fucking. It filled up its empty space. It had plenty of chances to go and grab this floor. hard to see this thing not. And then let's see, big ass box. Yeah, I see that one coming down before maybe coming back up, depending on if it falls quickly on earnings. But I mean, I'm writing it down because of the tension. I'll take a look at the contracts tomorrow. Potter gets off to boxes. Wow. I've had dreams about boxes, but I've just had dreams about teaching classes and people are in front of me and I'm wearing underwear. Nah. But I have I have had teaching dreams. I'm even trying to teach you guys in your dreams, dude. I see a target, and maybe it takes a second here. You're 1, 2, 3 at the top. I see a target of up above at 71. Whether or not you can punch down through that, I mean, you're struggling to get on this floor, and that's what you're seeing happening now. So it's got to go pop that third one. Otherwise, on earnings, however, I would probably look at it more like this with a 71 target and a thin box. Let's see. Uh, Unless this thing goes all the way up to 89. Uh, Now that I do. I have to stick with those targets. Punch back 72.16, and then maybe we could see 77. But I like the channel down, the channel up. It's broken that down channel, so the bias is more up to the down to the upside. So it's not a bad chart. I like that one. AMD. Another one that has earnings. Don't take me over. Man, so it has earnings on the weekly. It just needs to be above 125.45 to get moving. And I see a gap up there at 138, 137.75 that I think would be the target. Moving up into that empty space, right? You're just looking, it's not a bad, I'll write it down as well. And I know a lot of people have sworn it off, but I'm going to do it anyway. I live in a box. Damn. I saw this dude who's homeless and he's trying to learn how to trade, but he fell into the ICT trap. So I don't know. Hmm. Gotta let me cook. All right, MU. Now this one is going to be a weekly chart all the way, right? And the weekly it supersedes the 24-hour, right? We're seeing how it's breaking, and so I think it's setting up. Uh, the red candle though, Yes, earnings on um on EMU is going to be, I think, pretty big, and it offers some ridiculous targets, right? Like obviously, there's a shit ton of empty space up above us. Um, I think I've even mapped out a potential channel. I think it tried to start a channel, but it's since just made a flat bottom high. And then you look at the weekly, and it's just trapped in this area of consolidation. So this motherfucker breaks, and I think that. And let me see if I can find. I'm trying to find its trend. There it is, motherfucker. Look at that. God, look at that. Is that not the most beautiful thing you've ever seen in your life? Oh yeah, you're right. Thank you. Son of a biscuit eating basketball player. They love that on TikTok. That's uh man, it's I mean, I'm writing it down. Let's see how this next week goes. But 89.50 down and fuck off. 120, I mean, I would probably hit 120s because it's so far away. And if it does make it, if it did make it, and it can, that's the thing, is I'm tripping myself out and I'm like, I don't know. But then you go to a previous earnings. I only remember how to snap things whenever I don't think about it, right? And then we go and we like, is that possible? Absolutely, dude. I can see it. Can you see it? You taste it? No? Okay. Oh yeah, that was amazing. That was a great trade. I'm envisioning, dude. Oh my god. Hmm. Huh. That's my straddle right there. You're looking at it. Straight up. That's fucking beautiful though, right? I you got it. I love me a good MU trade. That motherfucker looks like he wants to move. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it. 89.50 down. And what again, 128 up. But I'll probably do 125 or 120 strikes. I have to, depending on how it sets up right as it goes into earnings, will determine on whether I hit this trade or it's in March. Oh, that's even better. March. Oh, that's beautiful. It looks like it's so close. That's because I'm on the weekly. You know what though? This could happen without it. It might just not happen in one go. But I mean, you're sitting in a really precarious area, and again, you're on a weekly box right now. But underneath you, you've got kind of a really shitty, not really a box, but you got cost basis here. You have a box underneath you, and this is actually where we took it out of, but um, this is where that one would punch down and give us a new low. So I wonder if AMD, right? We could play MU on another stock's earnings, as another outside speculation. So all right, Dash. Ooh, what the hell are my fingers doing? I still maintain a target of 193.50 on that thing. Earnings are in February, but you just broke out. But yeah, that's what I see. Sherwin Williams. What is this jazzy ass music right now? That's why I'm about to fall asleep right there. All right. I mean, it's got a third rejection up here, so it's got to get to work here soon, holding that up. Um, yeah, you got empty space under there. So underneath 533, 553.50, I would be looking down. But yeah, cost basis would be the next target up if you can pop up. So it does. Yeah, I mean, no good. Are they? Yeah, no, I wouldn't really. Yeah, I don't like that. What is That's right. I think I gave this analysis so long ago. In the last 2 weeks, it exploded out of that box, closed up against it, and so I mean, 55 is the final target I have for this. Um, Earnings is coming very soon, so I can't help you up unless it's a channel target, right? I was like, why do I hear myself? I mean, well, sorry, recent 52 week or 56 week highs. Um, let's see, crash territory. Oh fuck. So 55. If that channel breaks, then you have a floor at 59. Those would be your targets. 68 would follow that. So yeah, yeah, a lot of empty space down. So how you respond to 55? I mean, you already look like you might be running out of a little bit of gas here. So, but it will receive 32 million in federal CHIPS funding to expand government bolstering a significant cornering is moving forward with his 315 million expansion project in New York State's North County as a TPS. Okay, interesting. It, I can definitely see the empty space going down, especially if it taps 55. That might be the place to get them. Yeah, no problem, man. I think I did DoorDash, yeah. That 192 floor is my weekly target. I think you go, oh, well, I guess it's 195, 4 and 195. Yeah, so between there, maybe an imbalanced target, but you do have earnings coming up pretty close. So if you rip hard up to it, you can see a pullback going in earnings. 375. Hmm. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't like that. So the thing that I struggle with here is that in between where you need to go is all this shit. So, and I'm almost tempted to just give it 380 or 379.62. That needs to be worked through, and then if you could punch through 392, or excuse me, that was 382. If you punch 392, then 394. I'm sorry, 394. Then we could see a move up to the next 428. So you're breaking a downtrend channel here. This box is toast. This box is the only one that I see is relevant. So just outside of 410, you're looking for a high of 421 and then a channel maybe up in the 430s. Now, I mentioned this one before because it popped up really quickly, and then now is pulling back really quickly. Fell underneath that sell level. I think you go to cost basis at 2011 here. Obviously, this is opens up the potential for a punch down, but still leaves a remainder up here to 23. So I would be really curious on how you respond. You're done pretty quickly, so yeah, $20 looks like the target down. Hopefully that's the mouth, and you can you start a channel up. So if you fall fast, you can bounce fast. Oh man, I'm getting married in March, so do I take this trade or take this trade? And when is the date? I get married on the 15th. 15th of March. I gotta remember that. I see a target of 113 here on shop. It has earnings pretty far away. It's rejecting this part right here. Most of the rest of this analysis is really choppy, man. You got a lot of boxes underneath you. So the real play, I would want it up. So 106.35 needs to be protected, and 109 needs to be broken so you can go and finish the trip up here to resistance. Oh, I did Uber. Um, Uber has empty space, just a little pocket of it to 71. It's got a baby channel here, which is subject to change. Yeah, so I mean it's 1, 2, 3 at the top now. If it does not go up to that to fill that empty space or tap that channel, then I would be looking for going sideways into earnings like this. I mean, the only other alternative is you punch down and going into earnings, you punch down to 60, 62, 60. Um, the honeymoon. Yeah, we were just thinking about that. Um, might go to an island. Might go free Jerusalem. Who knows? Yeah, did that one Uber AVGO. That's it. That's the name of this story right here. Is you're in a box. You're at the top. 1, 2, 3. You didn't really fall right after that first rejection, so there's still a good chance. And I think that's you could use an hourly box or range rather. 252.18. 1 hour. So I mean, you're in a really pivotal area here. Could just go in straight break or Doesn't look bad. Little pocket of empty space up there. It's been wicked through, so you still left some empty space, however. I see 36.45. It looks like it's about to punch back out, man. It looks good. I like that. Chart looks good too, brother. Yes, I'm still doing Palantir. I just blue FYI. I've been buying Palantir for years, like down here years. Um, so I've already taken my profit out of PLTR. The rest of what I'm holding here is, you know, a hope or not a hope, but you know, a want to go ahead and punch into new highs. So with PLTR, it's 82.60, and then I'm looking at a new high of around $90. But however, you did reject cost basis, so holding underneath you, you have a. I would be looking at that 76.65. All right, getting close to the end here. All right. Cool. Okay, so we got those. Crowd. I think I did that one. I'll look at it real quick in a second. Comcast has earnings. Empty space on the weekly. Floor has been recovered, but it's shitty floor. Okay, so yeah, they do have earnings soon. It's got empty space. Hold on. Does it respond to earnings? Not very well. I mean, it shot out, but then it doesn't hold. That was good. That's decent. Next day it rips. That's a large order on Comcast, but I mean, punch back, and then I see a 42.30 target. Yes, so day a punchback right here, a candle close over 37.85 or the 50% mark of this box would give me a new high, right? My job is to find that new high, and unfortunately, it's just right here at 38.63. And so, yeah, we're looking for a punchback. Then you get a little pocket of empty space up here. But this is really what I'm after. I'd like that box to be closer, but yeah, that is a punchback. 50% mark. Down or up. Okay, well, I think we've built a decent little watch list here. Some of these are going out a little bit far, so obviously we'll keep watching those. Coke with the rejection. Uh, yeah, it's gonna be tough. You got to hold your floor at 61, or go break over 63.11. No, I don't think Jorge moved on from the Caprice. All right. Sorry about that. Cool. All right, y'all. Looks like we got mostly everybody. I think everybody's request here. Um, again, I just want to repeat myself, especially to everybody, but we had a good week. I've had a really good January. This week has a lot of big earnings, a lot of market moving earnings, and it is absolutely necessary. And yeah, if you have trouble with the gambling issues, Riley, what I miss? But you know, if you've got issues holding, have perspective this week because it's towards the end of the week where the volume opens up. So don't blow all your BP trying to just trade whatever you can. But yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow morning. I can go over it really quickly. Um, tell you, yeah, I like it. I like it to go shoot up into this 35.75. Riley, is the bottom of the box above it or below it? Yes. Yeah, I like this one. It closed outside of the wall. It's just got this. It's not even really a cost basis, but yeah, it's got a pretty decent chart here on lower time frame, but covered the channel, so not bad. Um, but anyway, you guys have a wonderful night. Enjoy yourselves. What's up? Oh yeah, no problem. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 8:30 in the morning, and I'm just gonna let you know now, and for anybody watching this, if it's dog shit, if I don't trade, there's a lot of you guys who shouldn't either, right? And I'm pretty picky, so if you want to hang on to this loot, you know, don't get sucked into these lower time frames on days where the volume is not present. We're not everyday traders. We're snipers. We take shots when we see them. So, all right, you guys have a good night. I'll see you later. Thank you. Didn't day trade all last week. Save my gains. Look at you, Mike. That's beautiful, dude. That's all I want. I could sleep well at night. All right. Peace, guys. Yeah, no problem.